So I think last three videos it is in local, so Hasni will share them. We'll try to put it in YouTube. All other previous videos, the recordings were already there in the Zoom. You can maybe directly access them. The only last three videos are there separately. Okay, and also the before startup, right? So we are almost in end of core Python. So when I say I'm not saying Python, core Python. When we look at, right, what it is there in the core Python is how do you write a program? What are the basic functionalities and then behaviors we have in the Python? So that is all your core Python means it will only teach you syntaxes, okay, and how to what are the different components we have in the Python. Okay, but Python is very extensive. Okay, it has a lot of modules, and depending on for what purpose you are using Python. Say, for example, Python, if you want to use for the data analysis and analytics, okay, you will be requiring pandas because the core Python is a standard. It is a base for everybody. Like if you want to go to 10th class, you need to start from grade 1. Similarly, the core Python is elementary, like it is teaching you ABCs, okay, syntaxes and everything. So when we call outside core Python, so far whatever we discuss is core Python, maybe one or two topics are left over. After that, we have two modules. Okay, one is called NumPy and Pandas. So NumPy will have more mathematical functions. We don't need to learn NumPy separately. See, the name itself, numerical Python. So all of mathematical related functions. Let's say, for example, you want to add two, like you want to create two series like a matrix and then calculate them. Because in the mathematically, whatever advanced things we have, so all those mathematical functions will be made available through NumPy. So NumPy we don't need to learn separately because this will be depending on which module for which business purpose you are using Python. So indirectly we use them. Like NumPy indirectly will coming into everywhere. Okay, but what is the other important one is Pandas. So Pandas is the module which is extensively designed for data analysis and then your analytics purpose. You can read the data from multiple places. Okay, say for example, you have student data and you have like bank data. And like if you take example of Amazon, right? So every day there will be some millions of transactions happening. So some of the transactions are getting cancelled, returned, all that, right? So there will be a lot of analytics required. Say for example, when you are trying to search Amazon, okay, and then trying to look for particular item. So they will do back-end analysis like, okay, how many people are searching for what kind of product? So is that product, whatever they are searching is available in our site? Okay, and what are the hot products they are searching? So those products, if we are displaying on the main page, top page, so a lot of analytics they will do. So all that they will do for that, pandas can help. Pandas is exclusively for data analysis and analytics purpose, especially people who are going for data side and business analytics or business analysis. So Pandas will be useful. So this is completely tell you how do you deal with the data. And after that, if you are going into machine learning, so the new modules will come like scikit-learn libraries, okay, SciPy, and then TensorFlow. Okay, that is a combination of so sklearn is for the complete machine learning libraries, and then for the deep learning we have TensorFlow. So like this, there are like even there is something called PyTorch. There are so many. It will keep on going. So that will be for your uh, machine learning and then deep learning. So mostly people, if you look at, right, for the data science point of view, because you will deal with the data. So your journey will be starting on the pandas, and also you'll be requiring ML and then AI. We are focusing more on, even if you are focusing more on AI ML, again pandas also required, because AI ML is completely dependent on the data only. So first we need to clean up, make ready data, and then you will apply the algorithm. So both are interdependent. Data, okay, and then AML, and for which to make your or you can say data preparedness will do using pandas, and then we'll apply all the algorithms. It could be a standard basic algorithm of ML, or it could be a deep learning algorithm, because all these modules are there. So now, in a abstract or in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is core Python will tell you only syntactical, okay, what are the ways you can write a program. And going forward, all that what we'll do is we'll try to use, okay, these modules. So they will provide certain libraries, and we will use those libraries, and then we will handle your business cases. Okay, so all that what we do, we will solve the business problems. Say now I want to access the data and all that, and then I want to apply some model, all that using pandas and then other libraries, whatever I called ML and then AI. Okay, so now if you are talking about AML, so every vendor, say very popularly Python being as open source, okay, you can apply, you can use these Python libraries, sklearn and then TensorFlow and all these things. And even if you go to Microsoft, so Microsoft will provide a different deep learning. So even we have that Gen AI also, right? So Gen AI also we can use Python. Okay, mostly in Gen AI means like whatever we are calling of generative AI. We are talking nowadays that is in advanced stage, current state of deep learning, right? So these Gen AI algorithms typically will use something called, even Gen AI also depend on machine learning also. See, it is everywhere, though we call it as a deep learning and then artificial intelligence and then generative AI. So underlying everything is algorithm only. So that is all statistical algorithms only. So varieties of the statistical algorithms. And now even in the Gen AI also will use a different type of algorithms called LLMs, large language model. If you want to become expertise in Gen AI, and let's say best example is Chat GPT, right? So Microsoft is started investing in the Chat GPT, so that is a Gen AI. So since they have the initial fruits, quick fruits, so now the Gen AI is popular. And similarly, Google also, because that is from the that is came from the OpenAI company, and but that is completely funded by Microsoft. Similarly, we have a competitor too, because mostly if you look at in the data side, Google is a top vendor. Every time everything, let's say you take YouTube, and then even if any advanced algorithms, Google used to top. Okay, and Microsoft never win this in battle. But the first time Microsoft has win the battle, and then with the collaborating with OpenAI. OpenAI is a company, so they have come up with Chat GPT model, and now that is in the top list in the industry. But they don't, okay, go back, right? Google and then Amazon, so they are also parallelly investing on the building similar kind of models in their companies. Okay, and so Google is building a new product called Gemini, okay, which is almost equivalent to ChatGPT. So maybe in the down the line in couple of years, like we'll have a close competitor from the Microsoft OpenAI, that is a ChatGPT, and then Google, okay, Gemini, and then Amazon also started investing, and then will soon get lot of from the Amazon. Even deep learning, there are so many libraries available from the Amazon already. So why I am telling all these things is, see, currently, ultimately, all that my discussion, I am focusing on the data only. Okay, so that is where data science, AML, everywhere underlying the data. So how do we deal with the data? okay, when you are having very large volumes, because we will be handling data with the large volumes. And if you take any company, so data will be placed. Say so far, if you take, right, all information we are either putting in Excel or some notepad or something. Say for example, you take some uh, like SBI bank we have, right? So SBI, you can imagine some millions, billions of the customers will be there. You take Airtel, okay? So Airtel, imagine how many millions of customers. Airtel, even couple of years back, there used to be like 150 million customers, means 150 million accounts. And then every account on a daily basis, people will, you can imagine how many calls you do on a regular basis. And then every day, 150 million accounts, and they are making like 100 calls on per day. So if you take, imagine 1 month of call records, if I want to store, imagine how many volumes it will become and where do I keep the data. Similarly, take your Amazon transactions and imagine how many millions of, let's say in India itself, we have like more than 200 accounts. People will be less, but accounts will be more. And worldwide, imagine how many, okay, some billions of accounts will be there. And on a daily basis, how many people are hitting every hit when you do on Amazon, right? Okay, so demand when you log into Amazon and click any button in Amazon backend, it will go and then log it. So this particular person came from the Google or directly came to Amazon site, or he came from the Chrome, okay, and hitting this button, okay, then a entry will be created in the backend. So from there, if you click, you got some result. So it will show up, okay, this is the result they got. So then you clicked on another tab in the Amazon. So immediately every click, okay, then again it will be recorded. So if you are making 100 clicks once you visit a site, so 100 records will be created. So imagine some millions of people clicking, okay, enormously, and imagine how much data it is going to be. So this data is in a data terminology, we call it as a click stream. Click stream is every click, even you take any popular website, every click will be backend logged and then kept it. Because why, you can have a question, why our clicks are getting stored there. So this is for analytics purpose. Okay, so when you click something, and then let's say for example you are looking for a particular stationery items, okay, in this stationery you are looking for one particular author book, you are trying to search it, okay, and every click what person came is looking for stationery, and then what the author is booking, then this is the author is booking, okay, the result it is not there. So they will come to know that, okay, like this, if there are today like 1 million customers searching for a particular author book, and if it is not available in the store, so then Amazon will lose the business, right? So they, you will try to go either to different shopping portal, or you try to go for a different physical shopping. So immediately looking at the demand, so that is the demand that will tell, because since the business is everything virtual, so how do companies know pulse of, or what in what are the interests of the customers? Only from the click stream only. And so that if you want to know, means the company persons, if they want to know, okay, only by way of clicking every link and then tracking and then doing analysis. So how do we do analysis? The question is, all this I am talking about the business case. So how do we do it? Okay, now all the data is there in the back end. So now since the volumes are getting more, the only best way to store this data is in big data, or any data which supports this much of volumes, because generally keeping in your, see, don't, you can't imagine the data placing into your laptop, and some terabyte, petabytes or zettabytes of the data will be there. So all that we want to process and then apply the algorithms there. So for that, okay, general Python, general whatever we talk, okay, will not help. So either you have to use the Python pandas for the extensive data processing, or we have to use a different one. So now Python being very popular programming language and all the libraries are there, but still if you have too much of volume, say it is algorithms wise good, okay, you can go and apply any ML algorithm. But when you have large volumes of the data, and then the way how you process the data, maybe we will depend more on the databases. Okay, because so now since the data is in big volumes, and then data we want to organize and also process. So to do that, right, also we want to store the data, right? All that clickstream data we want to store somewhere. So Python is not a data storage. Python is a programming language where it can help you to process the data. And Python is not meant for any of the programming language is not responsible for storing of the data. Okay, if there is some data, it can help you to read and then process and then give some analytics. Or if you have some information, if you want to go and then place it somewhere, either you want to keep it on a file, or if you want to keep it on a database, or whatever storage area, so programming language can help. So it will be like a mediator, but it is not a storage. Means in one line, programming languages can help you to act like a mediator to read something and to load something, but they themselves will not store any data. I'm talking about the data, let's say that customer accounts, all that information. So, so who will do and then what it will do? So pandas can help you to do processing and then storing. Even MLs can help you to apply if you have the already data, apply machine learning algorithm. But what is important, other side missing is the data storage. So where do we storage? There are two ways you can store. One is you can put everything in a file and then store in your, let's say you create a example in Notepad, you can store something and then place it something, right? So that way you can store it, but that will not help. Let's say, for example, imagine if you are running a very Amazon business, so you will have the data storage, some unique data sets, like there will be some thousands of unique data sets will be there. And because when you are storing the data, there are different fundamentals. Okay, how do you arrange data? That is all a different art. That is all comes under RDBMS. So ultimately, for the people who are going to the data world, right? For you, okay, what is important now is understanding the data bases. So the databases can help you to understand how you can arrange data. So generally, in database world, we'll store the data in the form of the tables and all that. And how do you insert the data? How do you access data? And for that, okay, this is a completely different science. So databases is separate science. So there are few people who will choose career as a database guy. So database developer, okay, database administrator, all that. So they are responsible for handling the data. So from other side, as a AI ML and as maybe data science guy, so you'll be responsible to accessing the data and storing the data and then doing something it. Means finally helping and making your AML algorithms to run on it. So why all the story I'm telling is that, so now I'm connecting the dots, programming language we have, and from the programming language, what is required is the data. But for AML, we need large volumes of the data, and I gave an example how much daily basis, how much of the data is getting generated. So all that, even if for that matter, right? If you take, if there is a flight starting from the takeoff and then reaching some destination, every minute by minute, okay, the data will be whatever sensors are generated, that sensor data will be captured. Even if you take weather forecasting, right, a lot of sensors will be kept outside, and these sensors every minute they will be generating the data, and then that will be kept on some storage. So this is all advanced technologies making generating enormous data. So ultimately, so now we have a challenge how we can store the data and then read the data. So that is the data world. So with this, all that for especially for the you guys, so data is going to be playing very critical role. So what I am thinking is that for the next, from starting from Monday, I will take the database classes, okay, that including SQL. So minimally how much you require. So we are not going to too much of the database, because again, people who are choosing the career in the database, they will be extensively learning, and then maybe administration will be there and procedural language will be there, all that they will be learning. But for you guys, what is needed is the minimum knowledge of SQL writing and how the data modeling will be arranged in the databases, and all that very very important for throughout your lifetime as long as you are in software industry. So basic information of the databases and skills is required. Okay, so that I will be starting from Monday, and that will help you to indirectly complete 50% of the pandas. If you know SQL and databases, your 50% of the pandas is already done. So then after that, we'll come back to pandas and then we'll finish, and then based on the time, we'll go for AML. So that is the path right now I am planning to choose. So from Monday, I will be starting on the databases. So it is a generic. See, again, the databases, big world. There is a big company. If you take a mobile, we have a Samsung, iPhone, okay, and then we have so many vendors in the market for the mobile, but all will do the same functionality with maybe some if and but classes. Similarly, from the for the database also, Microsoft provides database software, Amazon provides, and Google provides, Oracle provides. Out of all of them, right, Oracle is the top one. For large volume storage, Teradata is very popular. And then big data is one thing, it is a open source. Okay, for that we have something called Clouder and all that. So that is all a different science. Okay, so now if you talk about, right, uh, Python also can provide, if you have some data, if you want to store something, even you can store some data in files in your local system, and then you can process it. But it won't support too much of the data processing, and or it won't support too much of analytics. I'm talking about core Python. Okay, but pandas can do it very extensively. So that's why I'm minimizing the knowledge of processing, file processing, data processing in the Python, because we have databases, we have pandas to do it very extensively. So, but how minimally you can do here, I can show. Say for example, so far, right, we are not storing any data. Everything is in programming language only. Okay. So now what I am planning to do, let me open a file. Sharing overall system. Okay, so this time what I am trying to do, I'm planning to store some student details. Okay, I'll just try to create one file. So in the student details, okay, I'm just trying to keep some data. See, what is this naming? All that we will be learning in the databases. Don't worry. So right now I'm just doing something. So this is one file, and this file location currently is in this system. Okay, first, okay, try to see file where it is. So now student exact, you have to take the exact file here. Okay, so this is the path. So now initially we discussed about how to create a file path. Okay, it is very simple. Okay, directly we are directly using it. So mostly depending on your system, right? Sometimes, okay, this will whenever there is a backslash, it won't take it. That's why better you always put it in R so that it will not it will excuse with your backslashes. Otherwise, you have to keep double backslashes in everywhere. Okay. So now what I want to do, I want to just open this particular file. Okay. And then read what it is there. So there are multiple ways. Okay. So there is one method called open. So this is part of core Python directly. So remember, this is very basic level of exercise because all these kind of things we do in pandas only. So only for your information sake, I am teaching you because we'll get lot of things on this because our life is in the data only. So it is just a starting only. Okay. So now what is this open? Open is a method within the core Python, and then what it will do, it will open a file, okay, which is there any like mostly preferably you try to use a notepad files only. Okay, if it is Excel or if it is a Word document, so we have to deal it separately. Those libraries will come later. Okay, but right now it is only I'm dealing with text file. So I'm just opening this text file, open, and when you say open, right, maybe even this is also possible, but a lot of other parameters also there. Okay, and now I'm just simply opening it. Okay, I'm not doing anything, I just kept it. So this is the file name and then open it. So if you want to handle it, so generally we know already every time what we do, we just try to assign to some variable here. Okay, so this variable, what we are trying to do, f is open and then c path, and this path, okay, c path is there. So now what you can do, the c path is simply open your existing file. All the files what we are trying to do here is right. So these files you can give any mode, say currently, and for this particular file, in which mode you want to open. Sometimes you will be opening it only for read-only purpose, and you want to open in the binary, and if you want to open it in a append mode. Okay, there are three modes. One is if you simply want to read it, okay, you can say it will, when you give this attribute R, it will be reading in a read only mode only. Okay, and then if you put it B, it will be opening in a binary mode. And then if you put plus symbol, it will be handling with your append. Means even this can also help you to append some content over here. Okay, so right now let's see without giving anything. So now when I say print f, okay, I'm not doing anything here. I'm just say print f. You can see there is something, okay, what object it is created, that f is showing up over here. So now if you say f dot, okay, we have something called read line. There are so many methods. So what this read, read line only extra. When you say read line, right? So it will try to read complete line. If I just say put enter, okay, it will just trying to read the first line of your file. We have some lines in this system. So if it is reading the first line, and if I put one more time read line, I can see, okay, this is only for printing the path I have created. And now, see, one, two, we have three lines in the file, right? So one, two, three. If I say one more, I'll get. So all that content, whatever you have, even no matter whatever is there, it will be keep reading. So since like the behavior of the read line is just to read line by line from that particular file. Okay. So what you can do, so previously I was taking one by one, right? So now I'm just simply saying that line in f dot read line means, okay, for whatever you have in the read, or even what you can say, every line, whatever is coming, I'm just trying to read it and then try to print. See, every line in the first line, f dot read line, whatever you got, so that it is reading line by line, even within the line if you want to do it. Or see, for line in F, so F has some content, right? So that content we are trying to read one by one. Okay, and then when you say for line in F, okay, so print line. So everything we are able to get lines from here. So what are we trying to do? We are just trying to see, okay, what is the content. So when this is all called file operations. So what these file operations does, these file operations always, okay, will try to perform the file operations, okay, without like by making, okay, what you want to do. Say sometimes you want in olden days when databases were not there. So all these files used to be read from the way something like how you use it. Say for example, now currently we have the databases, right? So when databases were not there, and we used to place all the like in the area of the COBOL. So we used to process files only this way only. Okay, it is something like say now I want to read some information from the file. So read one by one, one by one, one by one. Okay, and then just try to print it. And also, if you want to add some content, let's say you want have something, you want to add some content. So that content also you can just go and then write it. So currently we are only reading, right? So even if you want to make it better, so we are just saying that when it is reading, right? So you are getting lot of gaps there. So we are just giving an indication that, so I'm trying wherever space is there, so that you have to end it. Otherwise, it will keep taking everything because it is reading in a binary mode. So, but it is a very big science actually. If you want to handle your files, read whatever is there in the file in this way, it is fine. Even sometimes you will do it. But right now, in the current generation, we don't do this way. So if you have some XML file, okay, we have a different module in Python for reading XML. If you have Excel, different module to read Excel. If you have a JSON file, different module to do it. So that's why you don't end up with having this trouble. So for everything, we have different module. But the basic file operation, if you want to do, so we have a open method, and what it is doing, it is opening that file, okay, and then you are able to read the content. So now you have a question. Say now, for example, I want to do some operation on this. Say what it is, what line is a string, right? So you want to take string. So what are we doing here? Everything we are just trying to, so wherever we have these values, right? So it was coming to line. So line is a complete line, and this line we are trying to break it, split it. And when I'm splitting, okay, now it is becoming array. And if you want to display only one particular information, you can put it. Say currently you see only, say I will comment it. If you want to display only first column of the student, okay, and if you want to display the second column, so like this, so you have to put all. So you have the file, it is reading line by line, and then now you want to handle data in a separate way. Let's say now I need to take the first column and then second column, third column. So this is also one way of handling the data. So, but in the next database classes, you will understand. So how the data will be prepared, because currently I try to put data in a way, okay, every column is separated by comma. But if there is something unstructured data, say you are just typing some paragraph and then you have something. So all that, how do you handle? And maybe in databases, we'll discuss about all those things. Okay, but right now, basic file handling, you will do this way. File, okay, read it. We are just simply reading it and then, so now, see, once it is done, okay, once your reading is done, you will come out. If you have 100 records, it will read all those 100 records and then display it. Whereas currently reading only. But once you read every line, and in case you want to do some operation on that line, you can do it. Okay, now if I say f dot, you can see I'm just saying f dot write, and unsupported operation, not writable, because I opened this file. Okay, now what it is doing, when I'm trying to write, it is not able to add. So what I'll say is currently, you can see the read completed. So what is that I have done extra? So previously, if you don't keep any, because when you are opening a file, you have to indicate Python that in which mode you want to open file. So if you don't give anything, by default, it will only open in a read-only mode only. Read-only means it will just try to open and then it will lock it and then it will not allow anybody to write it. And in order to ensure that you want to write something for it, so R plus read I want to do and also plus I am doing means append mode. So now let me go and see this file. Okay, I think still it not completed. Now you can see there is a new name has been added. Where in the bottom? If you see here. So what I am trying to do, I am just saying previously why it was not written, it was opened it and he was writing, but we didn't close it. So when you means it is not like it is like not, you are not committed when to close it. Means it is not understand that okay you are done, okay, or you are still planning to do something. Okay, now if you want to add something extra here, okay, now you can see this is without comma. So we are just adding it and then we are not putting anything here. So even sometimes, right, even some files it will not support some files. Okay, if there is a raw file, okay, and your Python is not able to understand what is inside. So in that case, you can put B. So this will open in a binary mode. Okay. So when you are writing in binary mode, so whenever you are writing any content, so that content you want to convert into string. Okay, object is required, not str. Okay, so when you are writing, whenever you are opening anything here, so this content you need to convert into str. So if it, because it doesn't understand what is the content, because since we are dealing with the text files, okay, you can directly use it. But if you are writing anything as a contest, sorry, normal content, so you have to convert it into str. So, but right now, this is all I'm not just giving formality sake, because so we will do everything in a different format here. Okay. So all that what we can do here is we just need to right now you just try to understand that there is a file handling modules in Python, so they can open and then you can process it. Because there are so many, as long as you know this part is fine, and how to read and how to process, it is a big world. And when we are learning pandas, okay, this topic will come very extensively. Okay, the reason is currently this module or this method can help you to read your files, no matter what type of file it is. But currently it is a since plain text file, we are able to read and then display it. What if it is in a XML or what if it is a Excel? So Excel, have you ever tried opening Excel in a notepad? So if there is a Excel file or a PPT file, if you try to open in a notepad, everything will become a binary, Greek, Latins, you will see that. So here also same thing. For everything, there is a separate module. To open, because to open any Microsoft related modules, so we have a different modules in Python. Okay, that we will learn in a pandas. For XML, for JSON, and then PPTs, and also for the other one. If it is a database, okay, so now this is one aspect. So now you have some data in a database. Let's say Oracle database, you have some data. So even Python can help you to connect it to Oracle database. Okay, and then you can read the data. So that is how you actually handle the data. So handling file processing, even sometimes it is required, okay, but not extensively. But to large data processing will do, means I will be in core Python and I will have some connectors to connect it to database. So those connectors can help you to read data from the database and then process it. So that is how it works. Okay. So with this side, don't spend too much time here because lot of things will get repeated in the forthcoming classes. So just for information sake, I will explain this one. So from Monday, we'll start SQL. Okay, till the time, if you have any basic practice, anything if you want to do, you can do. Otherwise, we'll meet and start brushing up your database concepts, because how we arrange data, what are the different techniques. Okay, we have some model normalization, denormalization. So this all will come for in engineering, come as a basics theory. Okay, but our focus will be more on the practicals. Okay, so I'll stop for today and we'll meet on Monday.